Oh boy, the Trump administration is kicking butt and taking names. California, you're not going to like this at all, but it's time. Oh, it's time. How are you good people doing, my American brothers and sisters and my foreign brothers and sisters? Welcome to the channel. I'm Ty Smith, and you're watching my channel, Modern Renaissance Man, which I'm greatly appreciative of. Follow me up here, down here, click this. Thank you. When you do subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so you can be notified, but it's going to bring down a drop box for you to select all notifications. That way you'll be notified when I post anything. Don't forget to check out the other YouTube channel. Everything I ask you to do on this channel, do it over there. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to the young man, Dalen, who I met at the gym. Shook hands with him, told me he follows me on Facebook. Now you can follow me on YouTube. His mom was there, or she knows of me from the school board meeting years ago. So I really do appreciate that. Make sure you tell all your friends and your family about the channel, Dalen. You will be the reason why there's growth here, friend. Appreciate you very much, sir. All right, guys, listen to this. That woke bull crap that was pushing all through the schools and just completely destroying, in my opinion, natural progression of children. Now they are being cut off on a federal level. They do not want this stuff taught in school. And quite frankly, if you ask me, sex education in elementary school needs to be cut out anyway. Nobody needs to teach nobody about any of that. Now, guys, well, Ty, how are you going to know about body parts? We didn't say anything about anatomy and physiology. Sex education. Now, what type of education? Sex. Why do elementary children need to learn about that? Why do it need to be taught? And all this stuff that I've been busting out on my channel left and right, some of these sick teachers and things like that. Why do you even feel like a child even needs to know that? In some areas, they're trying to introduce things into legislation. Why do you feel a third grader needs to know what it is to consent? Why do you think a 12-year-old needs to know what it's like to consent? Why do you think a first grader, second, third grade need to know that these boys do this and these girls do that? Why do you think they need to know that? There's no natural progression there. Before there was a such thing as any of this, I think as long as humans been on this earth, we didn't need anybody to teach you. As a matter of fact, shout out to my guy, George. Guys, listen to this. All the men and women that's watching my channel right now, give me the hand emoji if somebody had to teach you how to masturbate. Anyway, yeah, while this video is playing, think about it.
So happening now, the HHS has just ended federal funding for California's sex education program. Just minutes ago, Andrew Grattison, Assistant Secretary at the Administration for Children and Families, announced the suspension of the money in a letter to state officials that reads in part, quote, California has failed to modify its state prep content to remove all references to gender ideology consistent with the additional conditions imposed by ACF. Andrew Grattison, the man who sent that letter, is kind enough to join us right now. Andrew, good morning to you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Last November.
Real quick, so
go ahead.
You initially warned California back in June. You gave them 60 days and said, fix your curriculum or we're going to pull your funding. They didn't fix it. So how much money are we talking, and what was it in their curriculum that HHS wasn't okay with?
Well, the American people elected President Trump to restore sanity and common sense in this country. Part of that is removing gender ideology from state sex ed curriculum. So what I looked at when we requested to review these materials was whether the sex ed curriculum that HHS funds with federal taxpayer dollars was medically accurate and age appropriate. What we found was neither. The California curriculum was teaching students as young as 10 years old that boys could be girls and girls could be boys, and that the solution oftentimes was mutilating their genitals and transitioning. So that material is out of bounds when it comes to sex ed curriculum. It's completely unacceptable, and as a result, California will forfeit north of $12 million.
$12 million. Okay, and President Trump appeared to kind of react to this morning. He posted on Truth Social in part, quote, any California school district that doesn't adhere to our transgender policies will not be funding. Well, that has now come to pass. You just mentioned $12 million they are now forfeiting. I'm curious, when you initially sent those letters to California, did they ever respond to you in any way? Did they say, hey, can we have a little more time to work on this? Or was it just radio silence?
California waited until the last day to respond to us, and they told us that their They believed their curriculum was medically accurate and age appropriate, and they said that federal taxpayers will continue to pay for this. Well, FAFO. Under the Trump administration, if you continue to push radical ideology on our children, we will not pay for it anymore.
Take a look at this Pew poll. Looking at teachers across the country when it comes to teaching gender identity in schools, kind of their thoughts on where that falls. If you look at all teachers, about 50% of them say it should be taught. Elementary school, should not be taught in school. So you got half teachers saying it shouldn't, most elementary school teachers, and then the older you get, the more teachers seem to think it's okay to teach it. Bigger question here, you're pulling the funding from California. Are there other states you're looking at now across the country who are also risk at losing funding?
Well, 2 points. One, it's interesting to know what teachers think should be taught in the classroom. I'm more interested in what parents want their children to be taught. And parents overwhelmingly want to know what's being taught in the classroom. They have a right to know what's being taught to their kids in public schools, and we're making sure that they get visibility and we're not pushing ideological materials on them. Broadly, I think every state will be put on notice. We've almost completed reviewing every state's curriculum, and as early as next week, we're going to put an additional almost 40 states on notice that they need to correct their prep curriculum or face the same consequences that California suffered.
You got about 15 seconds left. Your final message to the state of California, if you have one.
Stop indoctrinating the next generation. They deserve better. They need to learn how to read and write, not this anti-science agenda.
All right, Andrew Gradison there with the breaking news, $12 million in federal funding being pulled from the state of California. Andrew, thank you for coming.
Yep. And I 100% agree with this. I just told you how I felt about sex education. Certain ones that I'm over, that go to school, we sign off. We don't, we'll do work study or something like that. Use that, but we're not going to be teaching sex education. They don't need to be knowing about any of that, especially in today's world now. No. And again, I'm not talking about anatomy and physiology or anything like that, because guess what? If you go to anatomy and physiology, you're going to have to question a whole lot of things when you break down the anatomy and physiology of men and women. Yeah. We can imagine what that does to a kid. A kid's in there scratching their head. Wait, you said those are ovaries and those are fallopian tubes and that's the uterus and that's the vagina. And you said that is the testicles and that's the vas deferens and that's the prostate gland and those are the seminal vesicles and that's the urethra and that's the penis and the men have it. So then why does that girl think that she's a man and why does that man think? Yeah, imagine what that does to a kid. 80s babies, 90s babies, and early 2000s baby. We never had to even remotely think about nothing like that. But by them introducing this nonsense, then look what it can do to a kid. Nobody's nothing. You don't know what anybody is. Just because you have a penis doesn't mean you're a boy. Just because you have a vagina doesn't mean you're a girl. What? Anyway, y'all, what are y'all thoughts on this? I say keep it going. A lot of this nonsense, the tie, but there's things in school. No. That ideology, that gender stuff, there's 1,000 genders, 15 million genders, and my pronouns is this, ask, z, seek, bull crap. Nobody want to hear all that. Be done with it. I'm glad. California, how's it feeling? Shout out to my girl who's holding things down there as well, Kelly, who's doing big things in Cali. Y'all, let me know what y'all think of this by putting in the comment section of this video. Don't forget to do what you see in these elements right here. That greatly helps me. Please do that. I appreciate you for doing it. The next video I'm going to do after this one is going to be up there. Things I did as of yesterday right here. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, click that face right there, and that's how you do it, all right? I am Ty Smith, model Renaissance man, hoping and praying every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. Most of all, praying every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.